Happy 2022 and welcome to my first episode of Top 5 of the Week for this year. If you are one of those whose resolutions is to read more, I got you covered. Every Tuesday, I will be bringing you 5 publications for you to select from. Easy. So keep an eye out. I know we are all still easing into the year, so I have selected 5 publications perfect for giving you not just a broad perspective, but the lay of the land on a number of topics like climate change, trade, and migration. So let's get into it, shall we? First is a report from the International Labour Organization on the future of diversity, which explores the different layers of diversity, including diverse societies, diversity in organizations, and diversity at an individual level. The publication also links diversity to issues of perceived differences such as skin pigmentation, gender, age, and ethnicity that affect equality and contribute towards discrimination, violence, inclusion, and exclusion. The 4 sections of the report looks at, number 1, diversity management and the economic case for diversity. 2, the illusion of equality and the need for inclusive structures. 3, discrimination and violence that impede diversity. And finally, at 4, exclusion by design and how to overcome it. Next up is the 2022 World Migration Report that examines developments in migration in the last 2 years. Some interesting statistics for you. There are around 281 million international migrants in the world, which equates to 3.6% of the global population. 135 million of those are international female migrants, and 146 million are international male migrants. There are 169 million migrant workers globally. And there are around 3,900 dead and missing migrants globally. The report itself is in 2 parts. Part 1 is mostly key data and information on migrants, and Part 2 presents complex and emerging migration issues, including the impact of COVID-19 on migration, migration disinformation, migration and the slow onset impacts of climate change, migration and artificial intelligence, migration and mobility, among others. Third is the second report on the state of climate in Africa, which reveals the extent of Africa's vulnerability to climate change. It reiterates the urgent need to cut global greenhouse gas emissions, increase climate ambition, and direct more funding to adaptation. The report also emphasizes that investing in climate adaptation, weather and climate services, and early warning systems is cheaper than dealing with the resultant impacts from extreme weather changes. Climate change trends and impacts on the continent, such as melting of glaciers and rising sea levels, are also highlighted. At number 4 is the trade policy brief that looks at the major developments in African and global trade policy in 2021, including the African Continental Free Trade Area, launched last year, changes and non-changes at the World Trade Organization, especially the postponement of the 12th WTO Ministerial Conference, and of course, the discussions and outcomes of COP26. Last but not least are reflections on climate change and development in Africa post-COVID-19. The report establishes clear links between the environment and health, and how loss of biodiversity and proximity to wildlife can facilitate the spread of illness. It looks at the lessons from COVID-19 that are applicable to climate emergencies and vice versa, as well as options for financing the twin crisis. That's all I have for you this week. Check them out and let me know which one you get into. If you come across interesting reports that you would like me to share on this segment, don't forget to send them across. Have a wonderful week. Goodbye.